Managing attributes. In the ETIM-Mapper application in Configuration tab under Attribute option, users can define additional product attributes. If needed, these attributes can be modified, making it easy to adjust information as things change. And when an attribute is no longer relevant, users can quickly delete it to keep their data clean and up to date. This is useful when we want to provide product information that is not covered by the xChange or ETIM standards. It is possible to create an unlimited number of attributes. Attribute definitions can be imported from an Excel file or created manually by clicking the plus icon. Each attribute must have a unique identifier. After creation, the attribute can be added to a completeness mask defined by the user, making it mandatory to provide a value for that attribute. For now, we have the information that it is not in the completeness mask. There is the possibility of creating attributes of various types. The attribute type defines the kind of values that the attribute can accept. Accepted types include text, multilingual text, number, range, logical value, date, select, multi-select, or reference. When creating an attribute, you can choose whether it is global or not. A global attribute applies to all products and is visible in the Attributes tab in the Product Edit view. A non-global attribute is only visible for products belonging to the category to which the attribute is assigned. If the attribute is to be exported in an xChange BMEcat file, it must be marked as a product characteristic. Only then will it be exported as an item characteristic in the xChange file or as product characteristic in the BMEcat file. The importance field allows for sorting attributes of a similar nature. For example, to define the order in which they are displayed in an e-commerce system, the importance can be set as a numeric value in the range of 0 to 15. Providing a name and description for the attribute in available languages allows for easy product search and management, explains their meaning, and the expected values. Let's define some example attributes for a few of the listed types to show their typical use. First, let's start with a text attribute. This will be a text attribute that does not change depending on the language, meaning it is not subject to translation. Let's use internal code as the identifier. It will be a global attribute, so it applies to all products. We will skip the product characteristics and the importance. Let's name it internal code and provide a brief description, internal product code used for identification within company systems, logically in each language. Next, let's create a multilingual text attribute. This will be a text attribute that changes depending on the language. Let's use warning text as the identifier. Let's make it also a global attribute. Let's leave the product characteristics and the importance as they are. Let's name it warning or caution and provide a brief description, warning or caution regarding safe use, installation, or storage of the product, respectively in each language. Now let's create a select type attribute, used to create a drop-down list from which the user can select one of the available values. Let's use accuracy class as the identifier. This will also be a global attribute. Let's name it accuracy class and provide a brief description, specifies the maximum permissible measurement error for a given device, respectively in each language. After saving and creating the select type attribute, we need to enter edit mode again to define the values that this attribute can take. Let's add 4 values with identifiers and names in the respective languages. Let's create the first value with an identifier in names in different languages. Let's add 3 more values that will be available for selection in this attribute. In a similar way, we create values for multi-select attributes, with the difference that for products, you can select several values. We can see 4 prepared values with different levels of precision. The last example will be a reference type attribute. Each reference type attribute reflects a selected field from the general section. This allows the attribute to be grouped with other attributes and, for example, displayed together with them. Physically, it is the same field, visible under a different name as a user-defined attribute. Changing the value of one of these attributes changes the value of the reference field, and consequently, the other attribute that refers to the same field. Let's create a reference type attribute with the identifier ATR Series, referring to the brand series field. This will also be a global attribute. We will skip the importance. Let's name it Series and provide a brief description, range of products with a similar design, respectively in each language. Since all the attributes we've created are global, they apply to all products. We can now switch to the product edit mode to assign values to these attributes for a particular product in the Attributes tab. We can see the created attributes. Let's enter edit mode for the series attribute. This is a reference type attribute, and it inherits the nature of the field it refers to. In this case, brand series, which is a multilingual text attribute. Therefore, we can provide values for each language. Let's fill in the values for the different languages. Now let's save the entered values. Next, let's enter values for the other created attributes. For the accuracy class attribute, let's choose the value standard precision. For the warning or caution attribute, let's enter a text value in all languages. Finally, let's enter a value for the internal code attribute. This is how we create attributes and assign them values for individual products. Correctly defining and using product attributes is a key element in managing product information.